Guys, happy holidays. Welcome into my official NFL week number 11 score predictions, where I predict the score for every game in this upcoming week number 11. I will say, guys, you want to follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting. Link to that's always in the description, but let's get right into this, starting with the Thursday night game, the 8:20 game. It's a rematch of a previous Super Bowl. I'm sure we're all very familiar with the Patriots coming off their 45-7 domination of the Browns. They're going on the road to Atlanta, and Atlanta's coming off a game where they got absolutely destroyed by Dallas. Atlanta lost 43-3. That was an actual score in an NFL game. New England favored by 6. I think they get it done. Lower scoring game. Mac Jones still the quarterback, but New England, we know how Bill Belichick operates. That's an extremely disciplined team. A lot of people are probably thinking, you look at last week's results, the Patriots are going to blow out Atlanta. Folks, at this point, we know how it works. It's the NFL. It's weird. This will be a close game. Atlanta's going to play a lot better than they did last week, I'm sure. Thursday Night Football, Atlanta is at home, so I have it 20-17. Mac Jones, the rookie quarterback, really played well against the Browns. Really. And when I mean, they were high difficulty throws, tight windows. Mac Jones is looking really good, and I love what the Patriots did, kind of babying him along, not throwing him to the wolves where you throw a bunch of interceptions. Your confidence goes way down. They babied him along, made him a complete game manager. Now they're opening it up a little bit as he gets more experience. Love what they're doing. Great defense, very disciplined team. Closer than expected, but the Patriots get the win on the road, Thursday Night Football style. Moving to the 1 o'clock window, we have the Detroit Lions, who got their first tie yesterday, still looking for their first win yesterday, and then facing the Cleveland Browns coming off a terrible loss. To me, this game depends on whether you think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach. I do think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach, so I do have the Browns winning this game handily. 27-10, Detroit. Against the Steelers, it was crazy. What did they have? 40 rush attempts. Jared Goff had -2 passing yards late in the second quarter. When I checked it, it was crazy. I know the weather was a factor there in Pittsburgh, but I don't see how Pittsburgh can generate a lot of offense. Cleveland is going to be pissed, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be pissed. I think the Browns offense right now, without Kareem Hunt, that's a missing element. Nick Chubb also being out, they'll probably get him back. This is a Browns team. I love them to cover the 10-point spread. It's down a little bit of an overreaction. How can you not? You lose 45-7. I understand it. But really, Browns getting Nick Chubb back, going to be at home facing a very bad Detroit team who, Detroit will get a win. They're going to get a win this year. They're not a winless football team. You can tell. They got a tie, but this is not the week they get the win. The Browns win this game and cover the spread 27-10. Also, the under in this game is a good bet. We've got the Colts taking on the Bills. This is also a 1 o'clock game in Buffalo, and I am just simply not a believer in the Colts. I've got it 34-16 Buffalo. Buffalo offense getting back on track. Josh Allen getting back on track. Passer rating of around 127 last week. Now, I just do not believe in Carson Wentz ever since the ACL injury. To me, he's been a mediocre to bad quarterback. Don't like the Colts. I like the Bills to build on their offensive momentum they had last week against the Jets and win this game, scoring 34 points. Also, Stephon Diggs finally getting in the act a little last week. That was good to see for fantasy managers. This is a fun one. AFC, NFC. Baltimore coming off their disappointing, shocking loss to Miami. They're going on the road to take on the Chicago Bears. Going to be cold, probably in the 20s. 1 o'clock game here. I have it. Baltimore 27, Chicago 24. I'm loving the development right now of Justin Fields. It feels like Justin Fields is developing in spite of Matt Nagy, and I understand Chicago doesn't want to fire coach midseason. It's a really bad look for your franchise, but Justin Fields, man, he's going to be so good. You're seeing these young quarterbacks develop. It's unbelievable. Like Trevor Lawrence, kind of improving a little bit. Mac Jones, we're seeing it. And now Justin Fields maneuvering in the pocket. Still a very good pocket passer, but does have that element of running the football that I really like. As for Baltimore, this is a game you got to get back on track. You got to win this game somehow. The AFC North is so congested at the top. You need to win this game in Chicago, and I think they do get it done. Maybe a little higher scoring, 27-24. Lamar Jackson, maybe 3 total touchdowns and a few field goals for Baltimore. We've got Houston coming off their bye week. They will be in Tennessee. How about Tennessee? The Titans, they're winners of, I believe, 6 straight. They beat New Orleans this past weekend and Trevor Siemian. I've got it at 30-24. Every week there seems to be a few games that are closer than expected. They don't go one way. I believe the Titans are 10.5-point favorites in this game. For some reason, I think Houston will cover the spread. I'm going to speculate and say they are starting Tyrod this week. If I was Houston, I would start whichever dude gives me the best chance to lose. That's who I would start. And I'm guessing that's Davis Mills, because there's simply no reason for Houston to be winning football games right now. What's the point of finishing 3-13 instead of 1-15 when you could get the first overall pick guaranteed? You know, it's just like the Jets winning games last year. You could have been guaranteed Trevor Lawrence. Instead, you get the number 2 overall pick. You get Zach Wilson. Now, you know, I'm not saying Zach Wilson is a guaranteed bust, but you're looking at, you know, kind of how that works out. So Houston, they should be, you know, 100% tanking these games, losing these games. And I'm guessing they're going to lose this one to Tennessee, but closer than expected. It's kind of like just how the NFL is. You know, you think, oh, it's going to be 38-10, whatever. Now, you know, it's going to be closer than expected. We'll see who Houston decides to start. I think they'll start Tyrod. I mean, they started him before their bye week, but we'll see. We've got the Packers coming off their 17, and the Packers defense is crazy good right now. Coming off their 17-0 win at Minnesota. Minnesota also coming off a very nice win. Minnesota is so streaky. They play such close games. This one, however, I don't think it's going to be very close. Aaron Rodgers is going to be mad. They hyped it up. Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers, and it was really just defenses taking over. Aaron Rodgers helped significantly by his defense last week. He's going to come out. He's going to say, listen, I got it this week. That is a very good Green Bay defense. They should really only have one loss. The other game they lost to Kansas City. The defense played phenomenally against Mahomes. They just couldn't score with Jordan Love as the quarterback. This is a good, underrated Minnesota team. Kirk Cousins, solid quarterback. Solid, I would say, top 15 quarterback in the NFL at this point. He can get the job done. Dalvin Cook, one of the top running backs in the NFL. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, great receiver. It's an underrated team, and then a decent defense there for Minnesota. But this week, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a mad Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdown passes for him. I will say Aaron Jones out. Doesn't really matter. A.J. Dillon. Oh my goodness. A.J. Dillon's going to be a stud. That's a really good 1-2 punch because Aaron Jones is still really good receiving out of the backfield. But A.J. Dillon, he's a must start in fantasy this week. Aaron Jones being out, looks like he's out 1 to 2 weeks. Doesn't matter. Give me the Packers in this one, 31-17. We've got Miami coming off their big Thursday night win, traveling to East Rutherford, taking on the Jets. I've got this one 25-21, kind of a loser bowl here. And let's remember it. Let's get it documented. Mike White was a franchise quarterback for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, for about 3 weeks. Really struggled this past weekend against Buffalo. I've got Miami. What is Miami doing with Tua Tagovailoa right now, ladies and gentlemen? It's very strange. What is going on there? He's got a finger injury, but he can play. But now he's going to back up Jacoby Brissett, but he's going to be active. He's a young quarterback. You need to play him. It's his second year. It's go time. You invested a high first-round pick into him. Let him play with Jalen Waddle. What's going on there, folks? It's just weird. It's a weird situation. I think Tua's going to play, and I think Miami gets to it. Although this game, probably about 40 degrees out. They'll have to travel up north, playing some cold weather. It'll be interesting. 25-21. The New Orleans Saints travel to Philadelphia. I've been really good picking with the Eagles and against the Eagles this season. I don't know why. I just feel like I know this team. I know what's going to happen each week. Last week, I correctly predicted them to win outright in Denver. This week, I'm actually going with the New Orleans Saints, 27-22. You know, I was just thinking, why didn't the Saints just go out and sign Cam Newton? I mean, what do you got Trevor Siemian in here. What do you have to lose? Who cares? It's almost like it's a lost season. Go out. You know, Jameis Winston gets hurt. The other thing I'll say, people don't mention this about Sean Payton. Sean Payton really needs to get more criticism for his plan after Drew Brees. You knew Drew Brees was coming up on his final years. You knew it. But there was no plan for a quarterback after Drew Brees. And then they're like, oh yeah, let's just sign, we can sign Jameis Winston again. And the dude who threw 30 interceptions 3 years ago. I'm not saying Jameis is a bad quarterback. He's serviceable. You know, he could have led the Saints to probably 9-10 wins. They have a good defense, but it's like Sean Payton doesn't get any criticism. You knew Drew Brees was going to be done. He was up there in age. You got to go out and make plans for a new quarterback. You're not doing it. That organization didn't do anything, and now they're stuck with Trevor Siemian. They don't go out and get a Cam Newton. Like, what is Trevor Siemian going to do? These are just lost games. They're lost games. We'll see if Alvin Kamara plays. But, I mean, if you're the Saints, Would you even play them? I don't know. I have the Saints winning this game because they have a good defense, and also Philadelphia is a really fluky team. I think Philadelphia is a 1.5 point favorite in this game, but I have the Saints 27-22. Another one, boy, there are a lot of 1 o'clock games. They really need to put some of these games at 4 o'clock to spread them out. We need a few more 4 o'clock games. There's like 31 o'clock games. It is Washington coming off their major upset win over the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, traveling to Carolina. And Cam Newton, oh my goodness, I do have Washington building on their momentum from last week. This is not a bad team. Really good defense, even with the Chase Young injury. We hate it for him. There's fears of a torn ACL. I don't know if it's confirmed. Very likely Chase Young done for the year with a torn ACL. But that Washington offense, they got some things going. Terry McLaurin, Tyler Heineke, not a fan of his. But still, overall Carolina team, we'll see what happens with Cam Newton if they play him more this week. Carolina, big upset win. I'll talk about it in a second, but I was glad Arizona lost, to be honest with you. But Washington, I've got them winning a game on the road, 27-23. Not an easy task there against Carolina for Washington, but I think they get it done. We have San Francisco traveling to Jacksonville in an AFC-NFC game. San Francisco plays tonight on Monday Night Football. I've got the 49ers winning this game 34-21. I will say if San Francisco loses tonight and loses by a lot, I really think Shanahan or that someone within that front office really pushes Shanahan to start Trey Lance for the rest of the season, because you're looking at that division, you're looking at the wild card. We saw what San Francisco did against Colt McCoy. It's an inexcusable loss against Arizona this past week. We'll see what they do tonight on Monday Night Football, but it's going to be an uphill battle. Odell probably making his debut tonight. Robert Woods. By the way, you want to talk about that Robert Woods-Odell Beckham situation? What a weird situation. So Odell signs with the Rams, and everyone's like, what is he going to get, like 3 targets a game? You got Cooper Kupp, you got Robert Woods, Van Jefferson's still going to play a bit. And then the next day, Robert Woods in practice tears his ACL. I'm not saying like there's anything. This situation's just weird, and now Odell's suddenly the wide receiver number 2. I guess it's good luck for Odell. He's going to get more targets. Just a weird thing that happened. But in this game, the Jaguars, we saw what happened last week. The Jaguars will upset some teams maybe later in the year, but a lot of moving parts with the San Francisco team. I don't even know if Jimmy G will start next week. We'll have to see. And then we finally get to the 4 o'clock games, the 4:05 games. Bengals at the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, oh my goodness, they got trounced by Mahomes on Sunday Night Football. I have this game. This could potentially be the game of the day. Higher scoring. Cincy gets the win, 35-33. The NFL is in desperate need of some higher scoring games. Joe Burrow, that Bengals offense, coming off a bye. We remember what happened the week before the Bengals were on a bye. They got trounced by the Cleveland Browns, 41-16 at home. They're going to be pissed. Jamar Chase, this could be a huge game for Jamar Chase, possibly 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you've got the Raiders, Derek Carr. They can do some things throwing the football with Darren Waller and whatnot. So this should be a nice shootout with Cincinnati winning a close one. I think Cincinnati is 1 point favorites right now. I was a little surprised by that. I thought Vegas would open as a small favorite, but Cincinnati right now 1 point favorites, maybe even a pick 'em. We'll have to see. Now we're on to the 4:25 window games, and this is the game of the day. You've got Dallas at Kansas City with this renewed Chiefs offense that has finally woken up and has joined us in the 2021 season. Give me a shootout, 38-35. The Cowboys won this past week 43-3. I think the Cowboys are one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the NFL. I really do. I am picking the Chiefs in this game because it's a very tough matchup on the road against the Kansas City offense that just woke up. Again, Arrowhead, very tough place to play. Give me a shootout. Give me Dak Prescott 4 passing touchdowns. Give me Patrick Mahomes 4 passing touchdowns. The Chiefs get it done. Both of these teams are really good. I think Dallas is a little bit better. Like, if this was a neutral site game, I would pick Dallas, honestly. But the fact that it's in Kansas City riding that momentum, they're here, and give us a shootout 4:25 game. We need it here. Feed us that. And then the other 4:25 game is Arizona at Seattle. Seattle coming off being shut out. Russell Wilson is not going to be happy about that. Maybe he was rusty, but I think he gets back on track here. Arizona, the big story with them, Kyler Murray. I'm guessing he will 100% be playing. This is my prediction. With Kyler Murray coming back, I still have Seattle winning this game. You know, like I was saying earlier in reference to Arizona, I'm happy they lost. I really am against Carolina. I knew exactly what they were doing. My guess is Kyler Murray was probably healthy enough to play, but they didn't want to risk it because they were at the top of the standings and they had just won with Colt McCoy. No, if you start Colt McCoy, you're going to lose games. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're facing Cam Newton. I don't care if, I don't care if you're facing a bad Carolina team, whatever. Maybe they would have beaten Sam Darnold. I'm kidding, but still, Sam Darnold. If you start someone like Colt McCoy, you're going to get exposed, and they tried to pull a fast one like, oh, we can just beat Carolina, no problem. They get crushed, and they're going to lose this game too. Seattle 31, Arizona 21. We move on to the Sunday night game. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off their tie at the Chargers. The Chargers coming off a tough loss. The Chargers, it's funny, the Chargers and Vikings just faced each other. They're literally the same team. They're a good team, but they can get in so many close games. I'm really seeing this one as a big Chargers win. I love the Chargers in this game, 35-17. That's with Big Ben back, because Big Ben is, I'm sure he's going to be back for this game, or very likely going to be back for this game. 35-17, the Chargers. Love that offense. Very streaky team, but this week, this is going to be a good week for them. Coming off the loss, they're due for a good one. I like the Chargers winning this game 35-17. Steelers, even with Big Ben, that offense, really good defense, I'll give you that. But this week, I think they're off. I think that Justin Herbert and company, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, score a bunch, 5 touchdowns against them. They win the Sunday night game. And then the Monday night game to cap off week number 11. The Giants, for whatever reason, playing yet another Monday night game. They are on the road at the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers coming off their 2 losses now, one to New Orleans, and then this past weekend to Washington. They get a very easy win against the Giants. We're going to be expecting Antonio Brown back, maybe even Gronk back. This is going to be a big day for Brady coming off a really bad performance against Washington. I think everyone sees this coming. Bucks big. Brady's probably going to have 4 touchdowns. Too much talent on that team. Bucks defense shows up, probably forces a few turnovers against Daniel Jones. Giants coming off a bye week. It's funny, I was thinking this, that 3 weeks ago or something like that, the Giants Monday night game in Kansas City. Now they have a Monday night game in Tampa Bay. What is going on with the Giants getting these are tough games, but they're like, why are the Giants on primetime? We knew before the season, it's not like they had an injury. We knew Daniel Jones was going to be the starting quarterback of this team. Nothing against Daniel Jones. He's surprisingly athletic. I'll give him that. He's trying to, show that he's a franchise quarterback, but he's not that great. I've got the Bucks big into this one. That's going to do it, guys, for week number 11. All of the games. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.